Alrighty, here we go. Running a little late today. And some work stuff. Pushing some last minute buttons here on my end. Get our lights up so we're nice and pretty. Yeah, I just had some work stuff that needed to get finished up. Working on some new stuff for work and lots to learn, and there's a lot to learn, there's a lot of mistakes to be made. What I thought I had done on Tuesday morning, I got done on Thursday afternoon. Hey there. Hey, Dennis Gaming. Thanks for joining. Should have got myself a snack and a drink, but I didn't. Oh, let's see. Let's get rid of these errors here. But what I want to do today is, last stream we got the missile tower back up and working. And let's see, where's our camera here? Camera's off a little bit too. There we go. We got the missile tower back up and working. And I'll show that off here. I changed the model a little bit, and I want to kind of keep going on that theme a little bit. There is a building. Let's see how I broke this. I was doing some work last night. Yeah, we're just going to comment that out because it wasn't done. That is a sign that my brain let's switch screens here. My brain totally filled up last night. I sat down to do some work on the game, and I got to this part of the code and my brain was like, no more. You've been thinking enough. Hey, Michael, thanks for joining. Nice to see you around here again. And so I just left the code broken. My brain just was not going to go through the gymnastics of thinking about that last night. So hopefully, let's see if that clears up the air. And then Michael, you'll be glad to see we're going to get the nuke back into the game and working. That is today's goal. We'll see. Today's going to be a little bit of a shorter stream. I've got some other things, got some more tutoring to do this evening. Try to spend a little bit of time with the wife between when she gets home and when I have to tutor. But let me show you all a few things that have happened since the last stream. I thought you'd be excited about the nuke. Now, no promises that it's actually working. Our camera's off yet again here. There we go. I am married. Can you believe it? Been married for 15 years. See? I know I don't wear this piece of $70 piece of jewelry for nothing. All right. So if you guys haven't seen, I added these, somebody thought they were mushrooms, but I added these trees. I really like them. They're bringing in some color. It's kind of inspired me at some point here to go back and add some more variation to my tiles. But all right, let's see what else we got here. So that's all set up and running. Let's unlock our building so we can access everything. And I will show you, the missile tower. I forgot to update the missile tower button. But anyways, here's our missile tower. On the last stream, we got it functional, got it working, but I had the other model, which, oh, that's nice. But this is, I got some errors there. Must have something unset. But added this in, and short of this, oh, we just got an unassigned thing there. It's functional. And you can see it's got a, you can see there it's attack radius. So it's got a minimum range. So if things get inside, it's also got a maximum range, which I like. So you get a couple of these, you cover your base pretty well. So that's up and working. I like that. I'm pretty happy with that. You thought I just like bling. Yeah, Charlie the Postman. Yeah, I know you like the biomes. Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, I started the game off and wanting it to keep it really clean and simplistic, and then when you get it together, the prototype looks good, and then you take a step back and you're like, "Oh, it just needs a little more detail." So, long-term goal, maybe before the demo goes public, is to add in some more variation, like at least to our grass tiles. So maybe there's some different grass. I don't know. There's problems that brings in as well, but the different colored trees really do add a lot. So I'm pretty excited about that. Anyways, so there's our tower that was added last week, and this was a model that I'd already had done. And for various coding reasons had chosen not to use. And then when I got the other one in from last week's stream, I just didn't really like it. It felt kind of boring and basic, and which is saying something because my buildings are pretty basic. But what I like about this is potentially this could be upgraded to hold more missiles without really needing to change much in the code. So, and as it reloads, the missiles appear, which wasn't something available in the other tower. You couldn't really tell when it was ready to fire. Now, if there's missiles sitting there, it's ready to go. And let's see what else we have here. Got to remember to fix this error here before I go too far. But other thing, this is less exciting. Started working on the tech tree again. That is kind of exciting. But the other thing I've been working on is these directives. I can't quite decide if that menu is too small or kind of the right size. I think it's the right size when you go full screen. So anyways, this is the directive menu. This is kind of the like choose your own adventure quest. And I've had this working for a little while, but one of the things I've changed up here is I'm playing around with this idea that the reward is not a building unlock or a bunch of other resources or whatever, but instead, this first number is going to be like your standing or your reputation in the corporation, which admittedly right now is kind of a weak idea. I've got some ideas of how to implement that. What I don't want to do is go full on feature creep here. I want to keep it really simple. And then this here, the second little currency here, this little coin, this is going to be your tech credit. And I don't know if he'll show up today. Nike's car kind of mentioned this, I don't know, maybe a month or two ago. It's the idea of these directives, you getting a tech credit. And these are going to be what you spend on the tech tree to move you to advance yourself there. I think I like that. I had originally thought about having like research buildings that generated research. Anyways, I'm liking this. The other thing that I want to implement here is a time limit on these. So you get to choose, you'll have 2, 3, 4 of these to choose from, and then there's a time limit on it. And if you don't make it in the time limit, you don't get your tech credit. That seems pretty self-explanatory, but I think I'm also going to add that your standing in the corporation drops a little bit. So there's going to be a little bit of risk reward kind of thing going on, which I like. What I got to figure out is how to take that standing or reputation and like tie that into the game and make it meaningful without a ton of feature creep. I feel like that's just almost a good screenshot right there. Get rid of my cheats. It's not quite as full anymore. Anyways. I don't know. I like it. I like the colors there. I'm liking the formatting of that menu. I think it could probably be 10% bigger. Okay. On to today's main thing. Oh, let's fix this error. I'm not sure how that crept in, but let's go fix that. Hopefully that should just be a drag and drop issue. All right. Turret base. Missile 2, you just need missile 1. Let's make sure those are actually lined up here. So missile 2, launch point 2. Yep. Okay. All right, whatever. Oh, that's actually its own little right. I have to make all these little sub prefabs for the GPU instancer. If anything's going to move relative to its parent with the GPU instancer, it has to be a separate prefab, which is why I've got all this separation here. Cool. Love it. Yeah, Michael, exactly. That's kind of the thought. So the higher the standing, the better your future rewards. The other thing I was thinking about, and again, let me pull this up here because people probably haven't seen it, is that, and maybe this is too double jeopardy. Maybe this is like too, I don't know, maybe not awesome. Ooh, I did update this a little bit. Okay, so here is our current tech tree, vaguely broken. But the thought here is that, so you're going to start with the headquarters. Here's your, this is going to, oh, I've got the lerp speed way too slow. Anyways, you start with one of these, right? And it's color coded by tier. So you start with the white ones, that's tier 0, tier 1. And then you can only unlock upgrades that are adjacent to one that you've already unlocked. So you kind of work your way through this tree, kind of aiming, and here's our ICBM, here's our nuke that we want to get functional today. And the color coding is, you know, kind of your typical, I don't know, MMO style color coding for rarity. My thought is that your standing, at least one of the things it does is it might unlock different tiers. So you can unlock all the level 1 tiers when you're getting started, but you need to get such and such a standing or ranking before you can get to level 2 and so forth. I don't know if that feels like double jeopardy. Or if that makes things too complex, because then if your ranking goes down, how does that work with the tech tree? I don't know. Anyways, remodeling this is now, unfortunately, or fortunately, remodeling this tech tree and getting this to look nice and sharp is now kind of front and center of what I need to get done for a demo. I'd kind of hoped to skate by and not have the tech tree in the demo, but now we're going to. All right. And my close button doesn't work because I put a new button in and didn't wire it up. Awesome. Yeah, standing requirements for tech, and then you earn your tech credits by going through these directives. And so again, the idea there, what I liked about that better than, so a couple weeks ago, I was thinking, hey, these directives, they're going to unlock your buildings for you. The problem with that is then that I have to come up with an algorithm that makes sure you get the directives in the right order. Whereas if I give you tech credits to go to a tech tree and unlock, then you as the player get to choose your path. You're more in control of which buildings, which upgrades you unlock. The catch there is that I need to make sure that the directives that I offer up to you are doable. So, but I don't think that may not be that hard. It'll just be a mess of link statements to sort through lists. Let's see. Try the postman, that would increase playtime for sure. Yeah, right. I mean, again, you don't want to. I don't want to like just like slow down the game to slow down the game, but because the point of a video game is just to enjoy it, right? And so you got to have something to enjoy and decisions and what have you. But it makes it a little bit more meaningful, right? Because I think what I'd like to do too, and maybe this is too ambitious, is again to tune that time limit so that it's reasonable, that it's reasonably challenging, so that maybe some of these directives are like, yeah, there's a high reward for this one, but the risk is also relatively high because the time limit is short. But I don't know if anybody has any other ideas for that standing, that reputation. Toss them in chat. Love to hear them. Again, I want to do it in such a way that it's not major feature creep. I think you can go wild and crazy with it, but I want to do it in a way that's not giant feature creep. Because again, my big goal is getting a trailer and a demo done, but short-term goal is I've got a publisher who wants to see a more polished demo in January. So yeah. Let's see here. You say, oh, so the space bosses are controlling some actions at the beginning. Yeah, maybe. I think the theming of the game is still weak and in its early stages, which I think is okay. But kind of what I'm thinking about is that you're just kind of this underling working for a corporation. You're sent down here to establish a base and produce resources. And whether I let you go to different worlds or not and establish multiple bases, that's not anything that's going to make it into the demo. But yeah, that's kind of the thought. Like you're just this corporate underling. You're running this base, and they're just like constantly asking you to do things. Like you got to do this, you got to do that. And meanwhile, like the corporate gods don't care if you're getting attacked. They want their shipment of gadgets and doohickeys. Yeah, I don't know. That theme, that overall theme is becoming more solid in my head as we move forward. Let's see here. Let me catch up here on comments and we'll dive into this nuke silo. If you have the directive tree thing, you'll need a database that has each directive assigned to their tier. Yeah, exactly. Yep. I think what I'll do in terms of like making sure that they are achievable is I might give it some sort of like each directive, some sort of score, so that we make sure that maybe there's a medium, an easy, medium, and difficult directive. Again, that might be too ambitious. But what I can also do is just look at, like, say, the required resources, and then look at the player's base and look and see, are we able to produce those resources? Have we ever produced that resource before? Would be a pretty easy way to look at that, and make sure that at least one of the directives that we're offering up is possible to do. And the only reason I'm thinking about potentially offering a directive that may not be possible is so that there's that little bit of that push of like, hey, like this directive's out there. Yeah, there's a lot of tweaking, and that's a lot of stuff that's a lot of the polish that comes in with playtesting and what have you. So, and I want to over engineer and over optimize now. Yeah, Michael. Yeah. Yep. You don't like the database idea. Yeah. I mean, a database is like, at some level, a database is just a dictionary or a list or a collection. I mean, you can make them more sophisticated, obviously, but these aren't super sophisticated. Okay. Let's look at our long lost missile silo, and let's get this thing up and running. I mean, it might be. I honestly, I probably, Michael, you probably saw the last time that I actually launched a nuke out of this thing. So let's check it out, and let's make sure we are kind of in the right right spot. I think the animation of the doors is not working. And apparently I removed the bottom of it as well. Interesting. Oh, you know what? That's not true. I bet it's there, but it's flipped inside out. Let's test that hypothesis. Well, that's not very helpful. All right, let's turn that off. Yep, there's the inside of my silo. So I've got my inside of my silo. You just can't see it from this perspective because of the faces. All right, that's good. So we are intact. in that sense. We've got our, let's check out our ICBM. Let's check out this. Yep, there it is. Nice, only moderately phallic missile. Perfect. Kerbal had stuff that the player couldn't do. Yeah, I actually, I think that's not a bad way to do it, right? Because then you're like, you're putting this carrot out there in front of the player. I keep looking over here. My chat's over here. My camera's over here. I really want to check out the new Elgato prompter. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Some of my videos I've used a teleprompter. You can probably tell which ones. The Elgato prompter is pretty slick. It sits on your camera and it's got a screen so you can actually see chat on your camera. It's also just small and light. So if I want to bring it out and do a video with the teleprompter, it's nice and easy. Anyways, I do think there's some value in showing players something that they can't do. Specifically in this case, some of those directives might require resources that they haven't developed yet. So I think that's good. I think that's potentially really good. Okay. You know, I kind of think what's going to be broken on here is probably the targeting behavior. Why do we get that weird glow through? Oh, I see what's going on. Okay. So let's get this in. Let's get this into the UI. So that actually looks, I mean, it all looks like things are put together. I mean, if this works, I'll be shocked. I really don't think it's going to work off bat. But let's get it into the, yeah, we'll save whatever changes we made. We're going to get this in here and get it in for our UI. So I'm going to drop it in. There we go. So I've got this scene that I use for taking images. And so I've just got a camera set in here. Doesn't really matter. We'll go a little closer. I'm going to have to redo my images here, but I do this so that I've got constant lighting. I've got the right, same angle. All that kind of stuff. Let's paste that in here. Okay, we're going to rasterize it so we can remove the background. Okay. Okay. There we go. Background removed. And let's see, building icons. It's like I was doing this not very long ago. But I drop it in here. This is just Affinity Designer. And then I've got a group in here so we make sure that it has the same drop shadow and all of that. It took me a while to come up with a system like this that I was like, yeah, okay, that works. It's actually not too hard. And we save. And then we export this PNG. Where do I want? UI, building icons, missile, silo, icons. Cool. And then we come back in. Yes, we do want to save that scene. Oh. Sorry, Charlie, I didn't get your, what perspective is that? Sorry, missed your context there. So we're going to go in here to our defense buildings. We're going to add a new one. Name it. We're going to name it. And then we're going to put in, change this type so we know what type to add. And that's actually all I need to change. It'll actually do the other work for me. Oh, I really should update that one too, but one thing at a time. Yeah, that I don't know if that was orthographic actually. It might be. Oh, let me finish this up and I'll go look for you. All right. I don't think I actually need to change this, but I think I've got the code set up to like go grab the right icon. But I always find it nicer when it actually looks right in the I wonder if I should make that lower. I mean, it's centered. Does that look weird? Let's try that. Yeah, that's better. Dropped it down just a little bit. That fills the space a little bit better. Okay, let's save that. You want to see what perspective that is? Let's go look and see what perspective that is. Green screen. Nope, it's perspective. It's a perspective camera. I may have, you can see here, actually, I've fudged around here with the focal length and the aperture. I did fudge around with a few things to make it a physical camera. Yeah. I couldn't have told you that I did that, but apparently I did do that. Hey, Adam. Good. It got Adam and Michael together. Perfect. The harassment will begin. Okay. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I don't think the targeting functionality will work because I've changed the menus, but maybe. I don't even know if it requires any resources anymore. Also, here's a question for you guys. UI for me is just a constant battle, right? Like, I come up with an idea, I see something, and I try to replicate it, and I like it. On the left here, I made it full screen so you guys can maybe see. I've got my building icons here. And before I had boxes around them and a little bit of a, I don't know, looked like a button. And it was kind of feeling old. I didn't like it. And so I got rid of it. And now I just have the icons, which I think I kind of like. I might move them down here to the middle center, which is kind of a more traditional space for a lot of games to put it. But kind of curious whether people think of that. Yeah, the buttons looked more like this. All right, let's unlock here so we can get all of our buildings. Here's our missile silo. Boop. Okay. It's requesting some resources, that's for sure. Oh, look at that. It still works. I mean, no frickin' way. No frickin' way. Oh yeah, that's right. The shooting the second time never worked. And apparently, I put some really bad sound effects with it. I don't think I have desktop audio going through the stream here. But pretty sure I've had farts that are louder and more threatening than that. It does sound vaguely like a fart too. Hey, Alex. Yeah, the game is coming along. It is coming along a lot. Okay, we got to figure out how to. We got a bunch of things that we got to do with that. So number one is so it's launching. You can see if I double click on it, my icon changes and I can target. And it does its fiery thing, but the doors don't open. And this has been a problem for a while. We're not firing a second missile. I think at least part of that is what's happening is we're not requesting more resources to build the new missile. But I'm pretty happy with that. It even fits inside my little selection icon or selection thingamajigger. Yeah, if you guys are new to the game, do go check out the Steam page. It's pretty bare bones at the moment, no trailer, just some screenshots. But if you haven't seen the game for a while, there is a Steam page up and running. There should be a link in the description down below. Wish lists are damned hard to get, and very much appreciated. Very, very much appreciated. I only need like 35 times the number of wish lists that I currently have. Hopefully, if the publisher thing works out, hopefully they can help get the wish list thing going. Okay, let's tackle this one thing at a time. I want to get those doors working again because that was cool. So let's go take a look at those doors. All right, let's see what we've got on here. Okay, so we do have a missile silo behavior, which is expected. That's where all of our logics, well, actually, is there any code on any other part? Because really, I mean, I think, okay, there's our stat. Okay, so it's all in that one code. Really, I don't think I've launched a nuke. I think Adam and Michael, you guys were both here for the last time it actually launched. That's been a while. All right, make that a little bigger so folks can see. All right. We're going to leave this other stuff open because because I'm going to work on that later. All right, well, we've even got some janky controls going on in here. That's perfect. Oh, there's going to be a lot of remodeling to work, or a lot of remodeling to get done. A lot of things have changed. I'm impressed that it's still working. I've got the text a little too big here. Adam, that'd be perfect. Yeah, if everybody can just like go like, yeah, wish list and unwish list, that'd be perfect. Just push the button as many times as possible. Man, wish lists are tough. Wish lists are tough. Am I doing any social media posts for wish lists? I mean, a little bit, but I've attempted to do a few things. I've been in talks with this, and again, this isn't to brag that I'm skeptical that it will work out. I've been in talks with, not talks. I've been in contact with a publisher for the last couple months, and slowly going back and forth. And so I've kind of put the brakes on a lot of things like a trailer. Like I think a trailer will help a lot to get wish lists. A demo will help to get wish lists. Those are things that I want to work on. Personally, I think those are more effective. Those might be a more effective use of my time than social media posts. I'm not convinced social media posts work super well. So clearly people go viral and they get a lot of traction, but And also, like, this game is a ways away, like from releasing. So that's why the Steam page is up, so we can slowly collect. But yeah, I am hoping that the publishing thing works out and that it feels good and looks, like it's a good deal for everybody, them and me. And then I can kind of like let them take on the marketing piece. Okay, so I've got open door and closed door. Oh, I know. I bet you I know what's going on. I know what's going on. Okay, so what's going on with the animation? Sorry, I think I just like switched topics three-quarters of the way through answering that question. Is that I'm using the GPU instancer, and I brought this up earlier. And the GPU instancer, like, basically, I think it takes a snapshot of the entire object and like bakes it into a single mesh, which is great. Performance of it is really nice, but the issue is when I have things like doors that need to move, they also need to be separate parts. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make them their own prefab. I'm just wondering if I can make one prefab. Okay, so I made a left door. Can I just make one prefab? That would be nice. Let's duplicate that. And then let's grab, oh, you know what? That's going to suck because we're not going to do that. We're going to have two prefabs. It's a kind of a dumb thing to do, but we're going to do it anyways. Like that. The reason I want to do that is because I've already got the orientation of these buildings set right. The position, when they're closed, they're at 0, 0. And I don't, well, let's look at our code. Oh. Well, let's see, actually. Let's turn that off. Okay, and all we need to do is rotate this, not like that. And there we go. Okay, I've got my right door already saved. That's okay. So we're gonna take a little bit of a risk. All right, right door. Boom. So right door. And let's find out what happens. Okay, so then I need to come into my manager, my GPU manager, and we're gonna grab our left door, drop it in here. And then we need to enable runtime and modifications. Getting this GPU instancer up and running, like, it was definitely a little bit of a learning curve, and I still screwed up. But pretty awesome. All right, you guys have been chatting away over here. Thomas Brush says trailer is most effective. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And Alex, you're right. GIFs they do pretty well, but even still, like, the thing with social media is your conversion rate from, let's say you get 1,000 views on a tweet, or, getting 1,000 views on a Reddit post isn't that hard. Getting 1,000 likes on a Reddit post, that's really hard. If you get 1,000 views, if one of those turns into a wish list, I think you're doing okay. If 10 of them turn into a wish list, I think you're doing fabulous. And so it's a pretty low return. It's that funnel, right? You got to funnel people in. So here, actually, I'll show you one thing I have tried, and it's not successful at the moment. But since I got a handful of folks here, And if anybody wants a free copy of my last game, so right here on my webpage, I've got this little box here. Let's see if I can zoom in there. There you go, free Steam key. So on some advice from another marketer, which I think is pretty reasonable, email actually apparently has a very good conversion rate compared to other outreach. So what I've done here is people can pop their email address in here. I get an email that I can then later send people to, or send stuff to. I send out an email. As soon as you put in your email address here, you get an email from MailChimp with a link to a free Steam key and a little advertisement for this current game. Some people have taken me up on it. Unfortunately, I think to make it work, I'm going to have to pay a little bit extra money to have a pop-up on this site. After 30 seconds, 45 seconds of browsing, pops up. It says, hey, do you want a free Steam key? I got to pay for that, though. So I've been dragging my feet. Plus, pop-ups always make me feel a little dirty, but apparently they also have a very good conversion rate. So, anyways, that's one piece of marketing that I'm attempting to do. That probably was also not a good return on time, because that took me a couple days to figure out how to get all that linked together. But if anybody wants a free copy of the game, onewheelstudio.com, go there. It'll just cost you your email address, and you can always unsubscribe. I can't tell you the last time I sent out a newsletter, so you're not going to get spammed by any means. Let's see here. You guys got so many things to say today. It's awesome. Adam, yeah, I'm with you there with Thomas Brush. I was watching. I don't want to pile shit on somebody, but like he was doing some live streams. I heard that he was doing game dev live streams, which was actually really cool to watch. I'll give him full credit. It was cool to see his workflow. Very, very different than my workflow. He's also more of an art guy than a programmer. But man, he talks like, if he just like did the development of his game, I would totally watch his live streams. But every 10 minutes, it's like there's an ad for his course or something, or drives me freaking crazy. He knows the shit. I can't take that away from him, but I don't like the format. All right, well, let's see. Well, let me catch up on what else you guys did. I'm checked with Hooded Horse, publisher. They exclusively do strategy games, but I've heard they're a developer that has some great people. Oh, I'll take a note of that. Hooded Horse, huh? Let me put that. The publisher that I'm currently connected to, talking with, I didn't really reach out. It takes a poop ton of work to be able to put together a professional pitch deck. Let's see what else you guys. There's definitely chatting. Hey, Poop Troll. I love that name. That's awesome. Brian, let's see. You got a comment here. I saw some advice from Code Monkey. He said that after release reviews are very important. He also said that people who get the game by a Steam key aren't able to leave reviews. Yes, Brian, that is 100% true. 100% true. And it's like, if you don't get 10 reviews in the first week, you're kind of done. You're just kind of done. They might trickle in. But getting to that 10th review is freaking huge. That's one of the bouncers, so to speak. That's one of the big roadblocks to being successful. And like my last game, was, there's going to be plenty of criticism of it, but I couldn't get any interest in it no matter what, which is my own damn fault. But it also meant I just could not get reviews, and it's still stuck at 2 reviews. And while I never expected it to sell crazy amounts, if it actually had, okay, now, doors open. If it actually had 10 reviews, my guess is that I would continue to have some sales trickle in and get it. So yeah, me giving away keys for it is not helping that scenario. But yeah. Yeah, Adam or Brian, I had the same thought. Yeah, because right now, like, there's a link somewhere in the description. You can go buy this game on itch, and it should give you a Steam key. There's pros and cons with that. I mean, number one, I get 100% of the proceeds instead of 70%. I've sold 2 copies, so it's really not that big of a concern. But yeah, you want to be careful. Right? Like, again, I don't have a lot of patrons or channel members, but if every one of them, if you were somebody who did, and you had hundreds of patrons, and you gave them all a Steam key, they're gonna love that. That's great, but you're not benefiting a ton from that. Okay, doors work. We're not reloading. I'd also like on that first shot, I'd like it for the missile to appear when the doors open. But maybe that's I need some screen shake. Yeah. Yep. I thought about that. Screen shake would be pretty easy to add. Okay. So let's jump into our code here. Let's attach here and stick some breakpoints in here. Where is our... I'm trying to look here at our code. The code's pretty simple. Okay, we're just setting stuff up. I'm gonna have to change all this input stuff. We'll do that. I'm gonna do that later, not on stream, because, well, it's gonna be me fumbling around a ton, and it's not particularly... I'm just changing we're not adding functionality. It's not an interesting thing to do. Okay, so let's look here. All right, well, let's just put some breakpoints in here. Well, we know the smoke is playing, so we know we're getting here. I wonder if our pooling isn't... Or maybe it's... Do we actually have... Let's look at where our missile is. So I'm wondering if the issue is not in our... What's it? ICBM. CBM. I'm wondering... Oh, it's there. I'm confused why that is grayed out, but... Okay, so I think it's actually the missile that might not be resetting itself correctly. Oh, we're actually turning off this gate object. What the... What in the world is going on? Oh, you're over there. Well, I think I'm doing something weird and dumb with this thing. I think that's what's going on. Poop troll, do I stream when I go poo poo? Oddly enough, no. I am known for good poo conversations though. After being an outdoor educator for a while, and being childish at heart, definitely will talk about poo more than I probably should. But you're earning your name. I'll give you that. You're earning your name. I mean, okay. So, okay, what is going on with this? It's got to be here in. Okay, I want to see. It's funny because this is a bug that's been around for a while. So let's see what happens if I So I'm looking at the position of that icy beam. Does it actually? Oh, hey, it did its thing there. So it's interesting, and this is where it's breaking, is that the missile itself isn't moving, or the parent object isn't, but the child object is. Huh. Slowly running out of land here. Why is it working now? Oh, it didn't work that time. That's interesting. Okay, so I think what's happening is this object is turning off. Yeah. I have a little bit of a weird flare there. Oh, geez, I don't know what happened there. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go look at the code. ICBM. Parabolic projectile. It's one of those things where I tried to probably make it a little too general. Children never listen to their parents. Why is it working now? Is one of my confused voice pretty much sums up my entire coding experience, right? I was working on something for work last couple days, and it's kind of like delving into this like new part of the code that I hadn't like. I had no idea how it worked, and I'm pretty sure in an ideal world we would go through and redo and abstract out a lot of the code. Like there's just so many calls to do the most basic thing. You're like, oh, and maybe it's necessary. But anyways, I don't know. I worked for like, I don't know, half a day, 2/3 of the day, like trying to get this thing to work, like trying to get this object to show up, pull it off the server and have it show up. And it was working some of the time and not some of the other time. And I was just like losing my mind. I eventually wrote to my supervisor and was like, I don't know what's going on. He's like, oh, I forgot to tell you about this one thing. Or you didn't know about this one thing. I'm like, oh, there was like literally just an enum toggle on the button that needed to be changed. But that's how you learn. Okay, so let's see what happens. This is our projectile. This is probably over engineered too. This actually follows uh, a quadratic path, a parabolic path. Okay, so here's where we turn it off. And so we're just using height. That's fine. So as soon as we go underground, we turn off, which is a fine way to do that. That's all working. I bet you it's on that bomb. On the bomb code. Yep, right here. Okay. So we do update. Da, 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 da. This one actually... Why the hell am I doing it that way? I'm wondering why... Okay, no mission. Okay, mission. Okay, I think there is a reason I was doing it this way. So that's okay. But what I want to do is just not turn the object off. I do not want to turn the missile off in this case because the parent is turning itself off. I think that is my issue. That matches with the testing. So let's see. Did I save that? Yeah. Let's see if that works. What is that on the right? Code-wise? Dennis Gaming, are you asking what's over here? So this is a Solution Explorer. So this is just all my files search. And this over here is the debug output. I attached Visual Studio to Unity, and so whatever magic it does. I don't know why it must be all the DLLs in there. I don't know. I honestly don't know what else spits out, but it does spit all that out when you attach it to Unity. I'm no longer attached either. Huh. All right. Okay. Let's unlocked all our buildings. I need to do something with these messages. It's a little silly the way I'm doing it. Okay. I don't even know why I don't know why the shuttles are even showing up. Okay. I don't know what that little sideways shoot is. One of the things that the nuke is going to be useful for, and I mean, for right now, it's just going to be flash and whatever. But it leaves this radioactive cloud, so that'll do damage to stuff. That is not implemented. Haven't even thought about how to implement that, but that is not implemented. That shouldn't actually be all that hard to do. And the other thing it does, you'll notice, is that it will change building or change tiles. So let's put a tower and let's see if we can find some mountains. You can see that water looked like it turned into grass. There's some mountains. So we should, I don't know what those little sideways shoots are. Yeah, I think that one mountain turned into grass. So I think there's like a chance that happens. Inside minimum distance and it's still shot. Yeah, there all our forests turned to grass. Little sideways shooty things. I gotta figure out what those are. It however, is not. You can see that the fog of war things came back up. It is not programmed to work with that. That's freaking amazing. That's all. I mean, I knew this was working at one point. What the hell are those little side things? They're getting bigger each time. Whoa. We blew up before we... let's see here. Yeah, Charlie. Yeah, the fog is supposed to be radioactive. Yep. And Adam, how long does it hang out? Right now, it hangs out indefinitely. There is no time limit. That's something that I need to implement. Whether, there's pros and cons. Like if it's actually going to change the landscape, and that's going to be a mechanism that the player has access to or might want to use, then they need to disappear. But I don't know how long. The game works in days, so maybe we'll make it 5, 7, 10 days or something. It's not going to be a realistic time. The other thing I want to do is there needs to be special conditions, like what happens when we hit one of our crystals here. What happens when we hit one of these? I want to do some things too, like when you hit resources, like this gas geyser here. You get a bigger explosion or whatever. Like maybe when you hit oil, I don't know. Those can be fun things to add on as the game goes. Like, again, I think I want this. It'd be really cool, right, if the game took off reasonably and this was a game that I could work on for a couple years, adding those fun features. I think I want that. All right, I'm just having fun nuking the world. All right, we got to figure out what those things are. It'd be cool if, yeah. The enemies spawn and the radiation does something to them. Absolutely. Yeah, no feature creep. No feature creep. We gotta like, but again, we're all susceptible to feature creep, but I think the core ideas are here. And a lot of the things like this idea of like, the nuke hitting resources and doing something different, or the enemy passing through it or whatever, like, yeah. Those are all things that can be added later. Those, yeah, I don't know. Okay, cool. The piece that's not in here is I'd like the missile to appear first. Let's see if that's possible without changing too much code. All right. Let's look at our projectile here. Well, actually, we want to probably look at our projectile. Okay, so we do have a launch. We can... And we turn it off on disable. We do adjust the positioning or that. All right, well, let's look and see where we're actually editing this. Where are we turning this to true? Okay, so when we set the target is when we launch. Okay. So let's move this up here. That just pulls the missile out of the object pool. Cool. So the thing I want to check and see is if that's going to like poke it through the doors. So I want to avoid that. Let's see, where is my launch point? Here's my launch point. Yeah, okay, it's definitely going to poke it through. I might want to adjust the smoke a little bit too. All right. Okay, it does wait for workers, so you have to have workers here. That's good. There is a uranium resource. Yeah, okay, now it's sitting there. Oh, I think that might... Where'd it go? I know what happened. I know what happened. Does anybody else know what happened? I know what happened. Okay. So what's happening here is that ICBM, when it starts, already has a position of a vertical position, Y position of negative 0.4. We'll call it that. And the parabolic projectile thing is waiting for it to be less than 0.1, which it starts at. So it just turns off. Let's see if that works. Well, we'll see if I'm right. I'm just blown away that code that I wrote. I mean, I bet you I wrote this a year ago. And granted, it needs to be updated. I'm just kind of blown away that it basically works. Okay, I gotta figure out what that extra little shoot off is. But okay, there we go. Oh. Well, that's... Oops. Yep, Adam. Yep. Absolutely. How the frick does this work? How did I do that? All right. Well, we broke it. All right. So we launched. No problem. Okay. That all looks good. Okay, that's the ICBM. Interesting. So my guess is that we got maybe a little bit of a race condition. So maybe we have a fight here between... Let's take a look here. Let's find... Why do I have that rotated like that? That is a little strange. Thought I'd look and see what that little extra spark is too. I have no idea what that is. Okay, so what I'm thinking here, I don't have a ton of time left. I got about 20, 25 minutes here, and I gotta run. But we made good progress. But what I'm thinking is that we just need to reset this missile when we turn it off. So here we were turning the missile off, the missile visuals off. And what I really want to do, I think, oh no, I did want that. Oh, that's why I had that. Okay. I had that rotated so that the local forward is up, the direction of the missile. Fair enough. Okay, so let's try this. Let's see if this solves it. So this transform position equals 0. That is not a valid thing to do. 0. But not position. We want to do local position. And then what we want to do is this transform look at that. We're just going to look straight up. We're going to move and then look straight up, which we're already doing here on enable. Oh, interesting. So here I don't actually... Oh, this might be a more reliable place to do it. Let's try that. That way, every time this parabolic thing turns itself on, it just says, hey, missile, come on over here, do the thing you need to do. So let's not put it there for now. Let's see. Let's see how that goes. The other thing I want to get it working is so that we're actually, we're using resources to shoot this thing. So right now it does take some energy in. So I don't know if we're spending, I don't think we're spending that energy. I don't see that code anywhere to use it. Okay, let's shoot. Poor little shuttle. Okay, so that worked. That was working before though. Let's see if we can shoot a second time. Okay, so that solved the problem. We weren't resetting the missile, which is a problem that you run into all the time with object pooling. My last game, I didn't think I needed object pooling. It was it was not a taxing game at all. It was all 2D. Footprint was really small. And I just thought, hey, let's not bother with object pooling. And I can't remember what it was. I ran into something and all of a sudden I really needed object pooling. It wasn't a performance issue. I can't remember what was going on. And man, the bugs that came in after I put that object pooling in, because I'd spent all this time building up the game without the object pooling. And so nothing was getting reset correctly. Man, it was legitimately a couple weeks of my development time, not full-time work, but craziness. Hey, Tech Dave. Nice to have you back. Oh, Alex, that's a good point. Yeah, reset missile. That would be more clear. Let's do that. Tech Dave here. Let's see what you had to say. Maybe it is a trail renderer or a particle system that represents exhaust for the rocket. It didn't get rotated, changed like the rocket. Yeah, I think it's something like that. So let's see. Do I get another one? There's one. I just wonder if do I get one like every time I fire? Well, that was pretty lackluster. I don't love this. I don't love the smoke. I'm only seeing one now. It looks like the rocket trail. There is a big old frame rate. There's a bunch of lag there when that rocket hits. Oof. That is a big old lag spike there. I don't know what that is. Okay, let's see. I don't think the particles get put in here at all. There's no particles. Projectile data. Get explosion. It's not the explosion effect. Charlie the Postman, what are you asking about? I'm not clear what you're asking about. Let's try this. Let's go to projectile. And we are going to... Let's see if we can catch that stray particle effect in action. I want to see if we can. Oh, is there a problem? I mean, there's always a problem. Always a problem. No, nothing in particular with the script. I mean, it was the missile wasn't resetting. I moved the missile down so that I could instantiate it earlier. So when the doors open, you could see the tip of the missile. And that did cause a problem, but. Let's see here. We got to get our workers there. None of the buildings operate without workers. Or if you don't have a full team of workers, your building works slower. Okay. That was... Tech Dave, I'm wondering if you might be right. That was weird. Oh, you're right. I've got that. I wonder if the particle systems need to be stopped. I'm wondering if you're right there, Tech Dave. If what's happening is the missile, huh? Because there's really only one particle system set up, or let's make sure. Oh, okay. There's two. I'm wondering if, I mean, it's got to be something with the, it's got to be something with the, yeah, I mean, it's got to be something with the moving of the particle systems or moving of the, I'm trying to run out of words. It's got to be something to do with reusing the missile because it doesn't show up the first time, right? All right, let's do a reset. We'll do a reset function here. Oops. Reset missile. Oop. That's not what we want. Reset missile. Okay, that's a good idea. Capsulate that all in a... So then what I'm going to do is... Is there a particles reset? Oops, that's not what I wanted. Oh, I didn't know I had that hotkey. Let's try that. Let's see if that works. Oh, except that particles stop. Oh, that might work. Let's see. I'm not 100% convinced. Oops, I do have to make sure I have access to it and then in the inspector. Guess I don't have to. It's the easiest way. Oop. Okay, particles. There's one. There's the other. Let's see if that works. I'm just going to keep saying it. I'm pretty happy with the work that we got done so far. Compared to last week's stream when I was trying to get the missiles working again, I thought that was going to be a piece of cake. And it kind of ended up being a little bit of a cluster. All right, there's our workers. Sound effect is really quite horrible. Okay, first launch, no problem. The sound effect is totally, it's not even timed right. It like, Okay, like, am I... Let's try to... I'm not sure why I'm not getting that particle effect all the time. It's not pooling itself. That's interesting. I feel like sometimes I get that big nova like that, and other times I feel like I'm not getting that. Yeah, I didn't get it there. I think I can actually target empty space. Yeah, I can. Do I only get that when... Huh. Well, let's look. Okay, do explosion. Da 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 da. Oh, because it's raycasting based. Okay, fair. Huh. That might take some more testing. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy with that. What I do want to do is got maybe 10 minutes left here. I'll figure out why we're not exploding later, but we've fixed the Tech Dave's comment, sparked the idea. I'll give you credit for that one. We appear to have fixed the random particle effect that was showing up. Good to know that that was a thing. What I do want to look at here is, can we get it so that we're requesting materials? Because a nuke shouldn't be free. Okay, so here's our projectile cost. 5 colonists. That's funny. This shows up every once in a while that colonists are like this expendable resource because all my resources are in enum. And at some point I deleted one and didn't think about it instead of renaming. And so it slid the colonists down. All right, we're going to do 5 and 5. Eventually this will be uranium, right? It'll have to be uranium and something else. It is not going to be cheap to fire off a nuke. But for now, we want that. So let's go take a look. I don't think there's even a can fire here. No, there is not. We do access our storage behavior, but do we look at it anywhere? Let's see. Storage behavior, check resource levels. Okay. Great. So we kind of, all that does is it just refills it ourselves. And then we're checking the efficiency. Okay, great. And this efficiency is just a way of measuring, if there's a time delay, I can multiply the efficiency. And basically your building ends up working slower if you don't have enough workers. But what we need is a check to see if we have the resources to build the frickin' missile. So let's go look at This is something that's built into all my other buildings. So let's go look at our tower behavior, just so we don't have to reinvent it. And let's see how I did it there. So get target, I apparently don't do it there. I do it in the turret. Okay, can fire. Okay, so we're just gonna do try use resources. Hey, Adam, thanks for joining as always. I won't be back on next week. Probably not. If I am, it'll be on Wednesday. I'm traveling next Thursday. I'll be in Florida. I'll be in Florida instead of doing this stream. Or at least on my way to Florida. Okay, so there's my tower. I want to make sure that let's make sure that our tower, so when we check for resources, I just want to make sure that I'm actually, we want to make sure that I'm requesting the right resources here. So tower, I think what happens is that we set the allowed types and then okay, so we set the allowed types there. That's what we automatically request. So we're going to add in, normally that's kind of automated, but I don't think it is with this case. If we are a resource modifier, so if we are for like a farm which takes in water and energy to produce food, then these things get automatically populated. Okay, but we're going to bring in those types. This probably should be, I probably should have it automatically set. That would be smart to do because I am going to change this. Let's see if this works. So that should request those resources. Then in here, set target, we're going to do if storage behavior, try use all resources. And then what we're going to do is do data, projectile data. Do I not have a projectile data? Of course I don't. I was just looking at that. I don't have it. Okay. Projectile data. Projectile cost. Okay. So we're going to check and see if we can use all the resources. So projectile data, that's got the cost in it. It's a list. It's all set. And what we're going to do then, if we can't use all those, that means that we don't have them. We're going to print out a message, missing needed resources. Okay. And then we're just going to return. We're not going to get to the launch. Yeah, Dennis came in. Yeah, actually, Adam, that's a good call. If Dennis came in, yeah, if you want to share your game, if you want to jump on my Discord, maybe you are under a different name. I don't remember seeing your name there. There's a showcase forum. Make a post there, share a link to your game. We'll go check it out. We'll make this an else if too, because why not? I do like it when this kind of thing happens. Like, I know I'm having to go back and read code and like figure out what's working, but I love it when the systems and the functions are already in place. And so just adding behavior is just easy. Like that. Makes me happy. Okay, so what we should, okay, good. Okay. So I'm pointing to the screen, which is really useful. If everybody can just look at where I'm pointing. So we are getting energy and the iron ore, which is the cost of our projectile, which is great. So that was already wired up. We're filling ourselves up because those are the resources that we can store. Great. So let's, should have one more shuttle coming. Or maybe, oh, okay, so we can hold 30 probably. So one more. There we go, and we're full. Okay, so 30 energy, 30 iron ore, and 2 workers. And what should happen now is when I shoot this, those should drop to 25 and 25. But instead I get a null. What? Well, all right. But I thought we... Oh, I don't have... Oh, dumbass. Didn't assign the projectile data. We'll try it again. We're going to try it again, and when this works, we're going to call it quits for the day. And if you guys haven't, go check out the Steam page for this game. There's a link in the description down below. The page it's pretty minimal still. There's no trailer. But it's there. You can add it to your wish list. That is hugely, hugely helpful. Tell your friends. Tell your mom. If you can go tell 7,000 of your friends, that would be 10,000 of your friends. That would really be, that'd be helpful too. Hey, cool, Dennis Gaming. Yeah, post it there. And my apologies if you posted and I missed it. It's not a really busy Discord, but I did forget that I had lunch the other day. So, my poor wife. Like, I fixed lunch. We ate lunch. Went out for some errands. And then I was like, hey, I got this idea for lunch. She looked at me like, really? Like, oh, yeah, we did eat lunch. Sorry, never mind. We don't need to do that. There it goes. Okay, we went down to 25. So we are now using resources to shoot our missiles, and we're getting refilled by our shuttles. Sweet. I do love it when all the systems work together. So again, I do think that that's gonna be it for me right now for today. I do appreciate folks stopping by, folks chatting. You guys chatting makes this enjoyable and does a lot of good for the YouTube algorithm too. But so I very much appreciate it. I do try to stream most Thursdays. Will not be streaming next Thursday. We'll be either being on a plane or probably in a taxi at this point next week. But I will be back Thursday after that, unless something happens. Get a billboard on Times Square to wish list. That should do it. Yeah, I mean, if you got it can only cost a couple million, right? A big QR code, please wish list. Anyways, much appreciated, guys. Super fun. I'm glad we actually had a productive day. So I'll see you guys maybe next week on Wednesday, but certainly in 2 weeks on Thursday again. Anyways, much appreciated. See you guys.